Alright, what up people? It's your boy Chig from Granit Xhaka coming to you again with a brand new video. And it's a video where I promise the camera ain't gonna shake. This is my first video being shot off my tablet, so I'm hoping this works well. So let's jump into it. Let's not waste any time. So you're through to Eagle Eye. Eagle Eye is my transfer rumour show where I talk about transfers, give my opinion, that type of thing. So first things up, let's talk about this story. William Saliba, the 18-year-old that everybody's very excited about from Saint Etienne. Good player. I've had an opportunity to see a lot more extended highlights, and because I don't really like to just give my opinion based off a YouTube video. It's not my style. Never has been my style. But I figure, it's important to continue talking about this signing because it does seem to be a story which we are heavily linked with. Defenders is the name of the game at the moment, and there are two constant stories that won't shift from us. This one is one, and the Barcelona defender Umtiti is the other one. And actually, when you really think about it structurally, getting an 18-year-old who's potentially a superstar in, and then bringing in a potentially very good Barcelona defender in Umtiti, it's a good bit of business. The only problem is that bit of business costs damn near 70 million. So one of these stories has got to be bullshit. But anyway, I digress. Let's talk about William Saliba. So obviously he's being valued at the moment in the 30 million euros range, which is about 26 million pounds. The France under-19 international. The claim from L'Equipe, who is the French newspaper, admittedly they don't always get things right, that Man City, United, Southampton and Watford, hey, you got to be ambitious. They're all in for him in the summer. But actually, Arsenal are the favourites to land the centre-back, given his actual preference. We've been working on this on this story for some time as a club, and these French internationals they tend to like Arsenal, particularly if you're young and you're French and you've seen young and French people break into the Arsenal team in the past, albeit under the previous manager. There should be no reason why you should fear any different. Plus, you also know that the current manager likes playing youngsters. So, for me, I'd be all right with this. I ain't going to lie to you, he's a good defender, so I'd be very, very happy with this. And I like the fact that we're being linked with defenders. But let's be real here. This has been a problem area for the last... it's always been a problem area, but for the last 3 to 4 years, it's been a seriously problem area for us. So that's the first story I'm going to talk about, William Saliba. I'm going to quickly cover this next part of this story, and that is Granit Xhaka. So just after, I tell you, I need to stop doing these shows so late because stuff breaks around the 9 o'clock barrier, and then I can't change it. But just after I did yesterday's show, there was a story that that from Xhaka's cousin, the same Xhaka cousin, by the way, who broke the story that he was joining Arsenal in the first place, by the way. Xhaka's cousin revealed that Xhaka, for some reason, requested that if Arsenal don't make the Champions League, he would be free to leave. Granit Xhaka, you mean arguably the same geezer that cost us the Champions League position in the first place. And the claim is that Inter Milan are seriously in for him, and that Arsenal have quoted 55 million for him. 55 million pounds, by the way. Now, initially, I must admit, I thought the story was ridiculous. I thought, how are we going to get 55 million? It'd be like to get 55 quid for Granit Xhaka. But then I thought, oh yeah, this motherfucker signed a new contract last summer. So I think that was the board's way of just protecting that asset just in case. And Inter Milan, I think, don't quote me on this one, I'm less sure about this one, But I'm pretty sure I read or saw a story where Inter Milan were subject to a takeover. And so they've got new owners, new money, and new owners would be desperate to make an impression, particularly with AC across the way, making such a big splash last summer. So, yeah, I think for me, this is reasonable. There's a reasonable chance that this could actually happen. I know that Inter are also set to be interested in Lukaku. I think United fans are in the same boat as us, where I think we're all together praying that Inter Milan follow through on both of these transfer targets. But obviously, my priority is Arsenal. So for me, man, oh man, I'm hoping, I'm praying. Even if it ain't 55 million, and I'll be surprised if it's 55 million. I'll be honest. Honestly, I'll take 30, truth be told. I'll take the 30. Give 30 and cut and run. Because Lord knows, I mean, you saw how he played last night. And this stupid idiot, right? So, I'm sorry, but this stupid idiot, he basically was like, well, I thought we played quite well, but we were up against the best player in the world. It's like, nah, mate, maybe it was the mistake that you made that led to my man converting his hat trick. Maybe it was that mistake, mate. Just a guess. Anyway, Granit Xhaka. Next story. Arsenal are being linked with another striker. Seems like a striker is not necessarily a priority, but definitely something that Emre is thinking about. Obviously, Danny Welbeck has left. Still some question marks over whether Eddie is the guy to fill Danny Welbeck's shoes. So Arsenal are monitoring the CSKA Moscow, Fedor Chalov. Chalov has scored 15 goals in 30 appearances for CSKA Moscow, and laying on 7 assists. So pretty decent numbers, to be fair. And these Russian players, I know the Russian league isn't particularly highly rated, but don't forget, CSKA Moscow are a Champions League team. That's not something we can say. I don't want to see people turning up their nose. Now, according to Sky Sports News, which is where the story comes from, there should be competition for Chalov's signature in Monaco, from Monaco and Seville. But definitely something where I feel like if we made a decent play for him, he's 21 years old, maybe we might be able to do something with this. But yeah, I like his numbers. I'm impressed with it. I don't know anything about the player, though. I'll be honest. But yeah, they do say that if we do buy him, it'll probably cost in the region of about 15 to 20 million pounds. Young player, still got 2 to 3 years left on his contract. But yeah, interesting option. All right, so let me tell you now that we've had a costume change, back with 2 stories of some old targets that we've been linked with. So first things first, Yannick Carrasco, remember him? Yes, the Belgian who is currently in China, living out his non-dream, is desperate for a way home. He's confirmed that he's had a Premier League offer, but he doesn't want to disclose for now who that offer's from or what club that offer's from. I bet any money ain't even Arsenal. It's probably someone like West Ham or someone like that. But at least he's had that offer now, so we'll see if he ends up going. But Yannick Carrasco dropping hints all over the shop that he is ready to bounce. Next target we'll talk about is Anderson and Parat. Dennis Parat, Joachim Anderson. Oh gosh, I butchered his name. I could tell I butchered his name. Gosh. Basically, Arsenal was said to have made a €42 million bid for the pair. This offer was rejected, but the feeling was that if Arsenal had upped that offer, that they would more than likely have that bid accepted. Well, apparently Arsenal have submitted a new €50 million 50 million euro bid for the pair. So that's Joachim Andersen. I knew it was Joachim, but that's why I was doubting myself. Joachim Andersen and Dennis Perrat. So according to Sam News 24, and they were the same people who broke the Lucas Torreira news last year. I do remember that as well. Arsenal have returned with an improved offer for the pair. The report claims that Sampdoria president Massimiliano Ferrero is ready to accept the new bid. Now, I've had a little fun fact that I learned today. Dennis Perrat actually had a trial at Arsenal a long time ago. And he was 16 at the time, and Arsenal were ready to offer him a contract, and he opted to stay in Belgium and go to Anderlecht instead. Little fun fact. It's another one you can add to the almost signed list from the previous manager. People have asked me what do I think of Perrat and Andersen. I must admit I'm not convinced about Dennis Perrat. That's just me. That is just my feeling on it. I know that he's a decent passer of the ball, but there's nothing particularly inspiring about him. I think if you're looking for someone to potentially replace Xhaka, which obviously, with the news breaking last night that Arsenal were prepared to sell Xhaka if they get a correct bid, I wonder now if this Perrat guy actually is more of a replacement for Xhaka than he is for Ramsey, because with the Ramsey one, I feel like the replacement will probably be Emil Smith-Rowe. But I do wonder if this is perhaps more of a link to replacing Granit Xhaka, which if that's the case, I'm more than happy with it. I mean, potentially his deal could fund these two players. so I'm all for that. Andersen I do rate. I think he's a good defender. Got a lot of control, very, very strong, reads the game very, very well. Very good aerially as well. But he's more, I think he's been bought because of how comfortable he is with the ball. Very, very comfortable with the ball. Emery likes them sort of players. So, yeah. Both are young. Perrat is a little bit older, 25 years old. I don't know, man. I'm a little bit skeptical on him, but we'll see. Andersen I like, 22 years old. These Danish are another one that can produce good defenders. And a lot of people were after Andersen. I did see a quote that was a little bit worrying. There was a little bit of a quote, I think it was earlier this week, that said that actually he wouldn't mind staying in Serie A because obviously he currently plays for Sampdoria. And if either Inter or AC came in for him, he'd happily gallop at the chance of those two clubs. So I don't know how committed to the cause he'll end up being, but so far so good. I mean, if we were to get Andersen and then perhaps get that Saliba, you would think that would be it on the defender front. But yeah, for me, I like the sound of the deal for the simple reason that if you're going to bring in two players to fill two potential problem areas, happy fucking days. So yeah, I like the sound of this. So speaking of upped bids, Arsenal apparently are set to up their bid for see, it's right by me now so I can actually read it. Alexis Claude Maurice. You remember I mentioned the striker earlier this week. Arsenal initially made a 7 million euro bid. Quite rightly, his club laughed and were like, no. Interestingly enough, yesterday I saw a story about West Ham submitting their own bid, a £10 million bid for the same player. I didn't see whether or not that bid had been accepted or not. And Arsenal now have come back on the scene, I guess, seeing that, and they're set to make a second bid worth €13 million. Now, for me, we've been linked with two young strikers, three if you count the one I mentioned in this particular Eagle Eye episode. So it's clear that a young striker is on the radar. We're clearly not going to get all three. I don't even think we're going to get 2 out of the 3. So I do wonder which of the 3 are we actually going for. But we've definitely got our fingers in the pies for all of them. But I like the idea of potentially just getting a young striker just in case this Eddie thing doesn't work out, and maybe a loan suits him better. But there's that story too. Alright, so I guess let's finish on a bit of a more of an encouraging note. And that is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Obviously, last 24 hours really, people have been panicking, pretty much because inexplicably, Uber had taken Arsenal off the bio, I guess, of his Instagram page. His profile was pictureless. Obviously, the last picture we saw was of him in an Arsenal kit, and he'd removed kind of references to Arsenal, and it was particularly noticeable because we've noticed that Mkhitaryan's done the same, Mustafi's done the same, and in particular, Granit Xhaka, who has more or less said he wants to leave, has done the same. But yeah, Arsenal's back in his bio now. So if that kind of thing matters to you, celebrate, have at it. But yeah, it's back. He's one of us again, I guess. And yeah, I guess it means a lot to a lot of people. So I can't really laugh too much. So yeah, it is what it is. Also, he liked a post. I guess I feel cringy even saying this because to me, I don't watch people's activity on Insta that closely, but he also liked a Twitter post where somebody was defending the idea of keeping Aubameyang rather than selling him, and that he could be our new Thierry Henry, and he liked that post. So if that means anything to you, at least he's showing signs that he's committed to the cause. Obviously, the club are in a bit of a panic at the moment. I feel like the agent has done an amazing job. But I think the club are set to open talks with both Aubameyang and Lacazette, even though Laka has, I think he has 3 years still on his contract. Well, I could be wrong, maybe not. I think maybe they both have 2 years left on their contract. And obviously, both of them are in key points of their years, but both of them have said encouraging things. Like Lacazette has more or less hinted towards the fact that he wants to stay. As long as the club are happy to have him, then he's happy to stay. Obviously, that could change once Barca stroke Atletico Madrid comes sniffing. And in terms of Aubameyang, that Chinese club could offer a lot of money. I don't believe in the 300,000. For me, I feel like it's going to be more than that. Supposedly, the club want to offer both of them £300,000 a week as contracts. I'd be surprised if it's that much. I'd be very, very surprised. I think it's more likely $250 a piece, or at least $275 a piece, maybe somewhere in between. I can't see it being 300 each, but yeah, apparently offers are going to be going into those guys, so hopefully that'll be all tied up. And plus, if you pay any attention to what Vinay said, which basically as soon as you hit 2 years, you better sign a new contract. So I'm hoping that a new contract's being prepared and is ready to be offered to the two strikers, because don't get me wrong, for me, I wouldn't be pulling my hair out if Aubameyang left. It's nice having those two, and I think if you can build a team around those two, yes, in Aubameyang's case, it won't be for very long, but you can't shit on someone that scores over 30 goals for you. So, to me, if you keep the two, you add certain players, get a load of dross off the books, promote a lot of youngsters into the team, I'll be excited to see what these guys can do. So, yeah. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang looks like is edging towards staying. Anyway, guys, you let me know what you think. Leave it in the comments below. If you like this video, crush, destroy, hit that like button for me. I appreciate it when you guys do that. I'll be back this weekend with a chopping block. I know I owe you guys some. I know I do. So keep an eye out on that, and I'm going to get you some chopping blocks done. Get a couple of other things done as well. Also, there's something in the pipeline that me and Lee are currently discussing. We'll fill you guys in over the next few weeks, but definitely keep it locked. And the best way of doing that is by hitting that subscribe button. Also, please, 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 don't forget to hit that like button. You guys did a phenomenal job on that yesterday. It really helps the videos get noticed, and the views also come off the back of that. So the more likes I get, the more attention it gets, the more eyes it gets, the more views I get, the happier Chick is. See, it's all connected. So if you like a happy Chick, please hit that like button. All right, I'm out of here. Take care.